Howdy! How's all my peeps out there in YouTube land? We are getting ready to paint this gourd. Now, in the last episode, you saw me put the designs on the gourd with the wood burner. I put this pretty little owl on here, and then I put a small feather, and then over here I put a larger feather. And now we're going to condition it, and then we're going to paint it. So I'll show you how that works here, where I'm going to put alcohol ink on this gourd. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to condition it. And when you condition a gourd, you use this Gourd Master Formula 49. It's a shell conditioner and ink dye medium. And when I apply this, I just use a little piece of felt. You can get these big sheets of felt at the craft store. Walmart sells it. It's 23 cents a sheet at the Walmart. I just cut little pads of it, and we're going to put a little of that on here, and then we're going to rub it all over the gourd. So squeeze a little bit of that out on the felt, and then we're just going to get started rubbing that on the gourd. And when you go to put the ink on, you just want it damp. You don't want it, soaking wet, dripping. You just want it damp. So I'll rub this all over the gourd. It just conditions the gourd up real nice. It gives them a little more life to the texture on it. And there's still plenty of it on there. You can see it glistening. We'll get all the way to the top on this before we're done. Just keep rubbing it on, making sure there's no light spots where it's been missed. Got the bottom half of it, so now we're going to work on the top half of it. This is a real good medium for working on the gourds, especially when you're working with the alcohol inks. I could have done some of this process off the air and, started in the middle of it or something, but I wanted you to see the entire process here of how this works. Make sure I get it in all the nooks and crannies on the intricate designs. That takes the burns off of it. It might be sticking up, little burrs in the burn. Go over those burns one more time. All right. Now, I'm just going to leave the lid off of that because I will probably be needing that a little bit. There, I'll move the mouse out of the way. Now, I'm going to lay in the background before I work on the pieces that I burnt. And for the background, I believe I would like to go in with some of this iridescent, they call it rich bronze iridescent. And shake that up real good here. Make sure it's mixed. This is Liquitex ink, and it's got a little eyedropper, so I'm going to put a little of that down there on the palette, just a touch at a time. We don't need to go hog wild and pig crazy. And then I'm going to take a dry piece of felt. We'll go back in with some Q-tips for all the little intricate work maybe around the designs, but I'm just going to start by tapping that on there just a little bit. Just tap it on. Go right around the lip. See how that just taps on there. Stippled effect. Make it look like a bronze pot. We'll mix some other colors with that a little bit as we go, but let's just start with the base color of the bronze. Now, I'll put my hand in there so that I can turn it. Take it right down to where them feathers are. Right around that piece. Right up next to the bird. I don't have to get right up on the line because, like I say, I'll go back in with a Q-tip touch-up. Come in right around the top of it here, pick up a little more paint. You want to work relatively quickly. You don't want the 49 to dry out on there. You want it still to be a little damp. And I am working under lights, so have a tendency to dry out a little bit quicker. It's alcohol ink, so it's easy cleaned up with a little 49 or a little alcohol. And let's get a little more palette here. Have something to work with. Let's come in with the edge of the felt, stamping it in. Rub it on the bottom there. Sides I just want stippled. So now that's giving it a pretty shiny surface. We'll go around that. Now we're going to come in with Q-tip dipped in the ink. We'll start with this big feather, and I just want to go all around the outside edge of that feather so we don't have any harsh lines. Just stipple it in. And we'll come around here to the bird. I'll start there right under the feather so I know where I was. Get right up there next to the bird and come right in and blend that all in so he looks like he's been there his whole life. Don't want him to look like he was adopted. It's like he was meant to be. Blend it all right on in around the feathers. There we go. He's looking pretty doggone good right there. If you see any other little spots that you want to touch up, you can always tap them on there with the Q-tip. Q-tips are painters' friends. Handy for so many different craft projects. Okay, that's looking pretty doggone good right there. Alright, now we got that color on, and I believe I would like to touch it with just a little bit. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go with the gold or the silver. Maybe I'll go with the gold on it. Okay, let's shake it up. Put a little down here on my little makeshift palette that I got going. We can use the same piece of felt. We're just going to roll it over here to the other side and just come in and just touch it on. This one I won't have to use a Q-tip next to the designs because we've already gone in and blended that bronze up there on it. So this one will be a little bit easier. Touch the bottom of it up. We want it to all match. Just some stippling. Try to keep it under the camera for you. I think that's looking pretty doggone good. Stamped around there. We've got a little more on the palette here. We might try to use some of that up. Just touching it here and there. All the way around the pot. Bronze and gold on the pot. Making it nice and shiny. Get it so you can see the designs in it there of the feathers and the owl. Now, for my next amazing feat, I want to put a little bit of color on my bird and feathers. And for that, I believe I want to use, let's see, we'll go in with a little white and a little black on that. Shake it up a little bit. And this will be put on with a Q-tip, and it'll be put on sparingly. The white and the black are extremely volatile colors. And a little dab will do you. So we'll just use a little teeny tiny touch. I ain't trying to paint it like Rembrandt. I'm just trying to touch it and give it a little bit of color here. So let's start with a small feather. Alright. We want to just touch with the black, especially on the lines, the shading lines. Get up there on that tip a little bit. Just come in with that just a little bit. Now I know that looks really harsh at the moment. It won't when I get done with it. Get the quill. Lay a little black ink in the quill down that vein. Then we're going to take a Q-tip and just tamp that out just a little bit. All we're doing is just putting a little shading in it. All right, now we want to take a Q-tip for the white. And I want to go in here, just a little bit of white in between the black. Just a touch. Just enough to shade it till the white color. Some little tiny dabs down there in the tail end of it. Then we'll come in. Thought I had another, there we go, another Q-tip. And I want to just kind of blend that. And see a little spot there that I'd like to touch up. Right there next to the vein. Touch them up just a tiny bit. And then we'll come in with this and just blend that. And there we go. Looking mighty nice. There's that little feather done. Now we'll do the big feather. Again, take the black. Try to get this before it all dries out on me, and I have to put more on the palette. But I think I will because I've got the bird to do yet. So we just tamp that in on those little lines that I burn in. Okay. Then I take my blender, my black blender, and I just go in and I blend it just a little bit. We don't want it to look harsh. We want it to look natural. And then we're going to come in with the white. Just hit it in all them light colored spots there. Right down the feather. And we take one for a blender and just kind of blend it in. If your paint dries too fast on you, you can always put a little 49 or a little alcohol on your Q-tip to get your paint to move for you. But there's that one. If you go outside the lines, you want to put a little 49 on there. I'm going to put a drop of 49 on my palette. And I'm going to pick it up with the Q-tip, clean end, and go in and just ease that off of that line, just like so. And just clean it up just like that. That's how easy it is. And I can always go in. Here, we'll just take this Q-tip, go in with a little, got just a little bit of bronze there, and I'll touch that little spot up around the edge of that. Make it look good as new. Flick that out a little bit, blend it in. And there goes. There's that part. Now, we've still got the bird to do here. So the ink is drying out on my palette. I'm going to put a little more on there. It's going to be black and white. Match the feathers. We don't need but just a drop. And we'll start with the black. And all in here, along where I burnt, needs to be dark. All up in here, along the tips of his feathers, gonna be dark. We'll put a little darkness down here along the bottom of his tail. Maybe just a little bit there on his leg. And that's all we need in the dark. Then we want to go in with the white. And with the white, we're going to pick that up with a Q-tip. And every place that I didn't get with the black, I want to get with the white. Reminds me of the old saying, you know, when you're carving a piece of wood, people ask you, what's it going to be when you get done with it? Well, I don't know what it's going to be, because I start out with a hunk of wood and I carve away anything that don't look like it should be there, and that's what I end up with. I mean, if you're trying to carve an elephant, you take a block of wood and you carve away anything that don't look like an elephant. Just going to tamp that white on there. I'm calling this an owl. I reckon that's what it is. Reminds me of the old White Owl cigar commercials. When I was a kid, they used to have cigarette and cigar commercials on. I know the young people don't remember any of that because they don't have that on no more. But they had White Owl cigars. For the longest time, I had an old White Owl cigar box. And we'll put a little 49 there on the palette. Take another Q-tip, dip it in the 49. I got off here just a little bit, so pull that white right off of there. Got off there just a touch, so I'll clean that up just a little bit. Come back in here with just a touch of white down here around his foot. Like that. A little white in that feather right there. I'll come back in with the 49. I just want to kind of blend that. Blend that color right in to the bird. And if you need to know where to get Formula 49, Welburn Gourd Farm sells it on the internet. And no, they haven't paid me to promote them. I buy product from them. I'm just telling you where you can get it if you'd like to have it. So there's the owl all painted up. And we'll try to get it up here so you can see it in the camera. There he is. He's painted. The lights are making him show glossy. You can see where I put some tamp marks in that paint right there. Where I blended it a little bit. Makes him look a little transparent. You can see the natural shine of that gourd, natural speckles shining through it. There's that little feather again that I did. There's the big feather that I did. I'll come back in with just a touch of 49 right up around there. 49 will reactivate that paint just a little bit, help it blend. It's funny how me looking at it straight on, I don't see the things that I see when I look at the camera on it. So looking at it through the lens of the camera helps me a little bit to get my blending a little more perfected. Let's see here. Touch more of that 49 on here. And it's this one. So it shows up kind of smudgy looking on the camera. It doesn't look that way when I'm looking at it. Come back in here with just a little bit of black. Touch that up. There we go. There, that looks better. I like that. I like that just fine. That's looking just dandy. All right, now we let everything dry. The next step would be to put the clear coat on it. So it needs to dry before that can happen, and we'll let her dry. And then I will put clear coat on it, and on my live show Monday night, I will show you the end result of the owl gourd. Not Al Gore. It's an owl gourd. And with that, I will end this video. And I just remind you that I'm going to have a live show Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hope you can join us. There's a live chat. And I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll be crafting something. I always am. And there is a challenge going on. Is all I ask is that you hand make me a card. It doesn't have to be a holiday card. It can be any kind of card you want to send me. And my address is in the description of the video. You can just drop that in the mail to me. And we're going to have a drawing for Surebonder glue gun on the 11th of December at 8 o'clock on the live show. And that way I can get it out to you. You should be able to get it then in time for Christmas. And just put your name and your address in with the card there so that I can put your name in the pot. And we will have that drawing on December the 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Brenda G channel. So with all that being said, I'll just remind you that Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda. Bye.